Indeed, it is our turn. Welcome to Outside the Box, open forum. Another night, another 2 to 3 hours worth of letting it rip truth. The tough love kind. It's doing its best to try to snap everybody out of it. And of course, yours truly, Kate of Gaia, hosting along with Tony Z. Hello, Tony. How are you?
Not too bad, Kate. Not too bad at all. Yourself?
I've been beating off a migraine all day. It's okay. It's a crown chakra deal. I know what it is. It's all good. Trust me. Yeah, no pain, no gain, baby. So I generally know what happens with these. So wait for it, boys and girls. Wait for it. And we also have Swan joining us tonight. I have Swan in the call with me. Do you want to say a quick hello before I start ripping out here?
Hi guys, hi everybody. I'm on fire, a little bit fried, but definitely on fire with what I've just been shown. So I'm really excited to be here today after a few very dark days.
Yeah, it's been kind of odd the last couple of days, indeed, hey, we've still been raising that torch nice and high for people. And again, we have Carol. Gotta love Carol. What a trooper, baby. So I'll unmute Carol's mic as well. And, oops, there we go.
Hello, everybody. Hi there, sweet Kate and Swan and Tony. I love you guys so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Mirror, mirror. And I couldn't say that to be any clearer. Yeah, I've got a few words that definitely need busting just to get people into the groove. And I do want to make this clear to people. A lot of people are for whatever reason, how do you put this? Don't have a full grasp on what it is I'm explaining. And here's the good news: you don't have to. And I'll tell you this right now: when you click on this, the whole thing just lays out before you anyway. So don't put any pressure on yourself. Just have some fun. Start putting hyphens in words and you'll start to see a whole new Sid. Remember, everything's in the mirror here. This black is white, white is black. So there's a reason why the witches used to take their spells and turn them around in the mirror. Okay, right? Because that's what the magic's all about. And we've been spellbound for ever since I started making these sigils beyond the pictures of the hieroglyphs, and of course Sumerian text. Which is a three-dimensional text. Most people don't realize that, which is why I take what's his name, Sitchin at arm's length, face value. That's just me. But anyway, not sure where I want to start here, so we'll just open it up wide, and you guys jump in. Do have somebody with their hand up already in the call, so I'm going to crack the line open anyway, just because that's who I am and what I do. So area code 303. Hello, area code 303.
Hello.
Hey, how are ya?
Good. How are you?
Good. You had your hand up, so I figured, there we go.
I sure did.
Yeah.
I had my hand up for you. Thank you so much, Kate.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, you just know I'm going to pick the line it opened anyway. I mean, I do it all the time, so.
I know, but I stood up, so I wanted to be fired upon.
I love it.
This is Tracy, who was posting on your
I know
Facebook.
Who it is. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's okay. I know who it is. Let's just say.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I recognize the energy. Couldn't have put a name to it, but I know this being. That's why.
Yes.
Right away. So.
I don't know if it's a question or comment, but do you think my energy is redundant if I ask you questions or I ask you to ask me?
Oh no, never. This is what the void is all about.
So you know the void, right?
Yes,
I've never heard that terminology in my whole life.
Yeah, the void
Would you like to explain the void, or would you like me to, or?
You can. I'll give you what my intuitive vision of it is.
Well, it's the same.
It is.
And you're a word master, but I might try to explain it, if that's okay.
Well, by all means. Go ahead. We're all family here, so let rip, baby.
Okay. It's difficult to explain the void without going into how it happened that I went there. Actually, right?
Yeah.
Because I was kind of forced in there, which isn't a bad thing. Many bad things happened that put me in the void. But when I got there, the best I can explain it is that's how I hid my light, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in the void, there is nothing. I mean, there is nothing.
You got it.
Nothing.
There's
not even self, but you are self, but there's no parameter or anything you can judge.
There's no reference.
But this is why I loved you, Kate, because you understand that it's pregnant. I mean, it is all things and no thing at the same time.
Yep.
And that's a void.
I love people speaking my language.
And I was trying to also communicate that the Cabal tries to simulate the void, which they cannot. Darkness is not the same or equal to void. They're trying to simulate both.
It's a poor facsimile thereof. Don't get lost in the dark, because that's
I know, right?
Yeah, that's the illusion of the void.
I agree. So that's all pretty much I wanted to say. And thank you for hearing me. This is the first time I was able to express that transition or experience in my life, and that you understood means everything or no thing. How about that?
I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, gave it back, took a tank top instead.
Right. And can I also introduce another concept that might be odd?
Oh, there's nothing odd on this show.
Oh, I think there might be.
Okay, we'll throw something that's odd then. I love odd things.
All right, I would love to. Yeah, I would love to hear any response to this. There are entities that came into this paradigm that are not from here, and that is me as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. When you go back to the terror of space-time back, well, if you can talk back or forward, it's the same way.
But I'm not from Terra.
I don't think any of us listening and talking right now are.
Right. So there is no actual distinction, but what I'm trying to project, which is male, is that there are some of us who are not from here at all, never been, and we just chose to come here for the first time, and it's very bewildering, and all good. We love Gaia, we love Tyrians, we love, and that's all. For lack of a better term, I would have to call us a walk-in from, it's hard to use language because we don't have language where I'm from, but it's all good. I love came in by choice, one time.
So what was odd about that?
Well, we can't all be walk-ins.
No, I realize that. That's the whole point of this place, you know. And I this is why I tell people, don't forget, if you're tuned in here, you are of the best and the brightest this universe had to offer.
Yes, we all are. That's true, exactly. So the reason why I didn't want to be, that's why I qualified that I'm nothing special, that we all are. But actually, I want Tyrians and Gaians, and I did listen to your show, I think it was on the 5th, and the originals, the blacks.
Yes, absolutely. While I'm thinking this right now, I'm going to ask and urge everyone, please, Facebook messaging for me is a nightmare. It is a time-consuming...
I hate Facebook.
Yeah, you know, that's why I give my Skype out. And I have a lot of people that are on Skype with me.
I hate Skype, too, but that's my own problem.
Well, I have to. I use it because it's a great.
But MJ heard me.
Yep.
And I heard MJ, and I heard you, and hopefully now you hear me.
Oh yeah, we're all in this. We do this together.
Everybody's beautiful, and I don't mean to be so corny.
No,
but
they're used to me, so don't worry about it. You can't be corny.
I don't know, darling. I'm
Love
Mr.
it.
Leo ascendant. We could spar. But you're gracious and I'm gracious. But I wanted to tell MJ that the originals are so beautiful.
Aren't they?
And so are you, and so am I, and blah, 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 blah.
Absolutely.
But beauty is so profound. Oh, but what I really want to discuss was the void, because the void's very interesting. Because people avoid it.
Well, avoid means not void. A before a word negates it, makes it a not. Right?
I agree.
And that's,
also I wanted to discuss that Cabal tries to simulate the void, which they cannot. I know they're the dark, but it is not the void. So you see how they simulate it.
Now you understand where I was coming from, trying to take the papering over of universal law, because that was the mimic.
I understand that on the third dimension, but that's just paper shuffling.
Well, no, I realize
but
that.
You understand
Tracy,
the void
Tracy,
is awesome. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was. You missed my final point on that. What I was after was to lift that mimicking off. Everything here is a mimic. So they're trying to mimic the void. They're trying to mimic universal law. They're trying to mimic life. They're trying to mimic everything.
Yes.
And they're doing a really shitty job.
Yeah, they are. I know if you watch them, it's getting pretty comical now.
Mm-hmm. And now it's our turn to feed on their fear and to transmute it. And that's part of the stuff that I want.
Well, if you're the void, there's no fear because
exactly.
They're trying to simulate that. The fear is a concept that they implanted. Oh, also, I have other things to say, but I don't know if it's appropriate.
I say lots of inappropriate things on air.
Probably not. No, I incarnated in the bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
not
few here.
That I'm special. But,
no.
So that I can understand, much like you, Gemini, I can see both sides. I'm in both and neither. How about that?
Well, yeah, it's again both sides, one coin, right? So that's the holy trinity of nothing.
Yeah. So there is no fear. It's just perception of ego. I agree.
Yeah, that's the overlay of the ego, and this is the one thing. I had a conversation with a friend today. I was out and about for a bit, and I hadn't talked to this friend in a while, and I got to tell you, it's very difficult for me to converse with people that haven't been following this trail.
Yeah.
And
I understand.
that's likely where this headache originated, because that's pretty much when it started. And it was
funny. How ironic are you?
Yeah, and that's not.
I have a problem communicating, but I'm broadcasting.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is when I'm wide open all the time, and I still get, and it's no harm, no foul. This is just the way things are. That whole pervasion of fear and everything, and if you haven't walked this path with us, especially over the last year, it's a very difficult thing to try to explain to somebody. How do you explain the shadow beings? How do you explain?
Right, but you understood the void, so I could talk to you.
Yeah. No, it's
right.
That's the mother of creation. That's where there's your magnetic that gave birth to the prodigal son. And now the prodigal son's all pissed.
I love how you walk, and I love that I walk, and I love that we can put a phone line and walk together.
Perfect. I think you're going to love what...
It is lonely. It is hard. It is smart. It is intense. That ain't no thing. It's all good.
Yep. At the end of the day.
Well, it's a long day, but it's Gaia. And Gaia's beautiful. And also, I like your name.
Yeah, that kind of just grew on me. I thought, I'm not part of UPU or UCC or any of this fictional mimicry. I just chose to be of the earth, of Gaia.
If I understood the name of where I'm from, I could name it, but we don't have names there. We don't have money. We don't have...
money is such a...
I know, right, I understand. But you know what? Gaia is so freaking strong, and this is an interesting experience, but she did need help, and the natives needed help, and that's why some of us are here. But I love names. I love language. Again, I requested on your website to look at my chart because I understand language and Virgo and Gemini and fire and Taurus. But, I mean, if you just look at it, it's a very simple thing.
It is. It's so simple people miss it.
Right? The truth is so true and simple, nobody will believe it.
Yeah, that's...
And they can look at their own, and that's why I like it too, that they can look at their own thing, and Santo as well. If you just look at yourself and believe, well, not believe it, I think we're here in the time, which is also an illusion, to just figure out yourself. What if creation created a slowed down thing for you to figure it out slowly, because otherwise everything's instant. So it's all a blessing in a way.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, I'm going to bring Swan in here because I know she's just on fire. So, Swan.
Wow, she's so beautiful.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Swan.
Hi. Good to meet you. I've spent much of my life. I have spent much of my life in that void, so I feel you. It's a hard place.
So you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do. My ex-husband used to say to me, "Where you go is so deep and dark and intense. And why do you keep going there? Why do you have to go there? Just change your reality. Choose a different reality." And I said to him, "You don't understand why I have to keep going there. I have no choice. Not like I consciously decide, I'm going to go and hang in the void today because it's such a nice place to be. I just find myself in the void again." But having gone into that...
It's not a scary thing.
It is a scary thing, but having gone into that depth of darkness, that's where everything shifts. As you said, that's where everything happens, on that edge. And it's only by going to that edge of extreme emptiness, nothingness, that we find everything.
Well, that's what I'm sorry to interrupt, humans find afraid of, but actually, when I incarnated on this planet, I was forced in there through some bad things, but once I got there, see, they were trying to access me, but once I went into the void, they couldn't access that, and I was still there. So it's not, the void is different than darkness. That's what I was trying to say, Swan. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
they're separate things.
Yeah, the void is different to darkness.
All right, and I'm just going to lay down some. I'm going to lay down some guidelines here. This is for everybody. Let people finish their thoughts, please.
Sorry.
It's okay, Tracy. I feel the excitement. What happens is things get derailed, and so just and I don't want to mute people out, but I just need people to get their whole idea out without jumping in, please.
I agree. Okay. My apologies.
So, yes, the void is different to darkness. It's just another domain. And there are lots of domains we can get lost in and lots of domains we can go to the edge of. So the void is one, the darkness is one. There are many realms and domains. They're all labyrinths in the end. So, Kate, I was so excited how you started the show with talking about the spells, because this is what has got me on fire today.
Yeah, I can tell you why. Go ahead.
And, do you want to speak, or shall I?
No, you carry on. This is the Akashic is downloading at light speed right now, so carry on.
What? Yeah, totally.
Comment around that. Sorry,
go ahead.
I interrupted again, Kate.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on hold for a few minutes, so Swan can finish your idea.
No, it's fine. Mute me.
Okay, hon.
Yes. It is.
All right, and no, I can feel your excitement, so don't worry about it. This is just so Swan gets her concepts out. All right, so carry on.
Agreed.
Okay, so I've been on the edge for the last few days again, screaming and kicking in the cage. Get me out of this cage. How do we get out of this cage that we're in? And finally this morning it was revealed to me. And what I've been shown is that I knew this. I've been asking. There's a solution. I know there's a solution to all of this, that it's so easy that we can do en masse at the right time. So what I'm talking about now is turning that critical mass switch. In a month or so, the 9th of June is the day I've been shown very clearly. There are reasons. It's the Age of Diamonds Day. It's the Leadership Day. So this is the day when we all have a chance to tip that fulcrum point, tip that tipping point completely. And the key is so simple. They have shown me exactly how the spell was laid and the mechanism that the spell has interfered with so that we can't materialize our divine selves. We know the stuff, but we can't materialize the stuff we know because of this spell that has literally broken the mechanism in our DNA. And I've been shown this key very clearly, that through a process of just being guided for half an hour or 40 minutes through this, we can mend this mechanism in the DNA and dispel the spell of dematerialization so that we can materialize. And we need 144,000 people ideally to do this.
Yeah, it's a matchup of consciousness, which is 9. June 9th, obviously, is the 6th month, 9th day, right? So there's your yin-yang. And, of course, yin being dark and yang being light, right? So that was just the first intuitive I've got off that when you said that. Are you there, Swan? Did I lose you? Okay, let me just check the call here. Oh, looks like... oh, yeah, that's normal. They're not going to like this call tonight. So let me just pull Swan back in. And there we go. Just waiting for a sec here. Yep, absolutely, it bumped you. Just waiting. You there, Swan?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear that. Let me see. Still trying to get through. Still ringing for her. But just to carry on there a little bit, when people start understanding the power of the tongue pledge, right? That's the key row. And of course, if you look at the sigil for the Vatican, it's in the mirror. It is actually a backwards P. So yeah, I hear you now. So what I was just saying there when you got bumped was, well, June 9th makes total sense because you've got the yin yang, 6 months, 9th day, right? Which is, yin light and yang, yin dark and yang light. So yeah, that totally resonated when you said that. What I was just going to cover really quickly, I want to explain a bit about sigils. Like, look, yeah, look, sig, right? Signature. Sigil is spelled S-I-G-I-L. I see a whole lot of other stuff in it, but let me keep it simple. Sigil is the spell, and when we place our intent and thought and everything into symbols that were created off the flower of life, and if we don't understand exactly what they are, they can become incredible traps. And the biggest trap, if you want to have a look, the Vatican symbol of Chi Rho, which is the X and a P. And that P is backwards. It should be mirrored the other way. So when you hold that sigil up to the mirror, it will read correctly. Now, Ki being, you spoke of Ki, Swan, so here you go. Ki is the Greek letter X. Well, it looks like our X. It also is the Chinese word for life. All right, so Ki, which X marks the spot, and Rho, which is spirit breath. I've said this before. Rho is how it sounds. So the power of what you speak, what you utter, is so incredibly powerful. And with these sigils and not breaking that spell, what's happening is we are creating this nightmare around us unknowingly. And the Vatican put, for me, one of the most powerful sigils in the mirror. The P is backwards, So it looks like, the P that they like to worship from the penis, right? If you take the P and put it in the mirror, it flips sides. All right? It should be, the P should look like a triangle at the top, not rounded, and going to the left, not the way the P does to the right. And they've done that with a couple of letters. You've got, of course, the Q, you've got the D, you've got the B, you've got, so, I mean, they reuse these symbols over and over and over to reinforce things. And so when you understand the sigil that they're using is a mirror of truth, it's again that mimicry we were speaking of, you start to get a better handle on it. I'm hoping I can really start to explain this a whole lot deeper, but I just wanted to touch base on that with you, Swan.
That's interesting as well, because this, when looked at like a sigil, like you said, it could represent the manifestation of something from the other 13th dimension, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Now, one of the things that you have to keep in mind as well is the box that we're in here is a mimicry of the entire box. It's a fractal of the fractal. And what's happened is you've got big fish and a little C here. And what they've done in the third, fourth densities is they've mimicked, 0 up through 13, let's say, or higher, whatever. And what they've done is they've compressed it so that we actually think, when we see a fifth or sixth dimensional being, a light being, or whatever, they're not that because they can't rise above the fourth. So it's all trickery. It's all mimicry. It's like Tracy was saying about trying to imitate the void. Again, all these layers are peeling off one by one, and they're getting exposed for what they are. And what I'm doing now is understanding where they're putting their energy, which is, of course, Orion. Too many clues there. Look at Cairo, Egypt. It's in the Nile Delta, brainwaves. And the Nile is the Kundalini. Pyramids were placed along there for very specific reasons. And I don't want to get into it tonight, Tony. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to give the overlay here. And it's no wonder that they made the capital of the pineal gland, which is Cairo or Kiro, and they moved that, they transplanted that. Again, you have your Rothschilds and Rockefeller pharaohs, Rothschilds and Rockefellers that absolutely bastardized this technology and turned it backwards and evil. Kept the secrets and have been abusing us ever since. Now, when you understand that all the churches, and I would hazard to say, I haven't looked, I should get Dan looking at some synagogues and some mosques for the paintings that are in there, and I'll put dimes to donuts that the same manifestation of Orion Nebula will come to pass with these domes that are collecting the energy of the worshippers, who unknowingly are thinking they're putting their energy and intent and love and worship towards a God of love, which is in fact the complete opposite. What you're dealing with is Satan. Say, himself, herself, itself. Tan, the color of. Tannic acid, there's a whole lot of layers in there, and that's the problem with each word. I could write a book on every one of them. But when you understand that that's how they're directing all this energy towards Orion, we should be heading towards Cygnus, which is the divine feminine. That's what Cygnus is, the swan. And I tell you, I've already made my intent very clear to this particular paradigm, and all that worship that they're gathering, I am now redirecting towards Cygnus. And sorry, guys, once the fraud is revealed, it's null and void. It's over, and I'm done. I'm done playing. I'm done with their illusions. I'm done pissing around. It's time to get this job done. So anyway, Swan.
Beautiful. Thank you for that overlay. I'm losing my voice because I'm so excited. So what I'm saying is this information that you guys, Tony and Kate, are putting out is so valuable to people, but they have to be able to put it into action. It's like you are giving them 5-star fuel, and the key that I'm talking about actually gets the motor, the vessel running, so that they can use this information, because what's happening with people is the way this mechanism has been interfered with under the spell, they can't actually mobilize the information that they're being given. It just sits in the head and stews, and they're not able to ground it in this 3D reality. Now, I know how you feel about money, and I have felt the same way, and I was so far off the grid for a very long time. I was very pleased with myself, but I was actually forced by spirit to go way back, deep into the grid again, kicking and screaming. But in the grid is where we change it. We have to make money. We have to make not just money, but the whole material world work for us. We have to remember our mastery, our dominion over the earth. The earth is our kingdom, and we have to make it the kind of garden that we want our souls to hang out in. And this key is so simple, but it is going to give people the ability to mobilize all this incredible knowledge, this volume of knowledge of yours and Tony's that is so huge, and actually make a difference in their lives and in the world. On the 9th of June, so I want everyone to put that day in their diaries. It's so important. It's the 9 of diamonds, the 8 of diamonds, the 9th of June, the 8 of diamonds. It's the day of autonomy, of self-determination, of self-leadership, when we can literally, if we get enough momentum, create a massive shift on the planet, in the material world, the physical world, all aspects of the physical world. Am I making sense to anyone?
Absolutely. One of the things I am having an apple. I haven't eaten all day. Can't eat when I have a headache. Now, going back to the money thing, I have no issue with money once people understand what it is. It is a Federal Reserve note. Well, there's that reverse thing, reserve. And I was thinking about this a lot today. And of course, you got raw backwards, feder, and you have raw L, right? Feder. You got ERAL, right? So there's raw backwards and forwards with the power of spirit, L. But note, Federal Reserve notes. What is notes? Well, it's no love of the feminine, Kundalini, that's the S. Hyphen TE, which is a note of love, hyphen S. So it's without love of the divine feminine, and given the fact that they've stolen the divine feminine through deception and fraud, it makes total sense to me. I'm looking at it going, I don't know how I missed that one before, but there you go. Anyway, it's about the intent. Once you understand that every note that is printed on this planet is the very flesh of your brothers and sisters, treat it with a blessing now, and don't go off and waste it. That's the life of you and everyone around you. When you change your intent as to what it is, you're handling life, and you're trading your brothers and sisters. That's why they had to get us with consumerianism. Okay? Once you get that, once you start changing the intent of it, instead of worshiping it, again, this is the life force, spiritual, of your brothers and sisters of Gaia. Treat it with the utmost respect and care, and use it only for good, and with the blessing of understanding that it is literally a sacrifice. Don't waste it. And sacrifice, I don't know, you probably know this one, Kate, because you are the expert on etymology for sure. But sacrifice is sacred doing, sacrifice, sacred doing. Well, you had me on that one. I didn't know that one. Like manifest is celebrate in the hand. Mani, hand, fest, celebrate. Celebrate in the hand. Works for me. Man, M-A-I-N is French for hand. M-A-N-I, Italian from the Latin, hand. Yeah, I'm showing the correlations of languages. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's like the 100th monk key, right? You are the 100th my key. Mon in French is my, right? Je suis, I am. The only letter missing is you, and they don't want you to find you. Je suis, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, yeah, it's all there. Once you got eyes to see this stuff, you don't miss anything anymore. No, that's right. Like, of course, that famous place in the middle of Italy, Roma, R-O-M-A, reverse. And what is? Amor, it's love in the mirror, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm here doing this with you. So what I'm asking people, everyone who's listening and everyone who's listening who talks to anyone, if normally you have something like 20,000 listeners on the show, I'd say more or less, average. Sometimes
we're running between 15 and 17,000.
Yeah. Well, if each person tells 4 people about this key and we all gather on the 9th of June, we reach that fulcrum tipping point of 144,000. So I want people to start emailing universityofspiritmedicine@gmail.com, universityofspiritmedicine@gmail.com, so that we ground this energy and we start building this field of consciousness so that we're ready to tip the scales on the 9th of June.
Where else are we going to do it but on critical mass? That's why we're here.
Right.
And for anyone that gets a little, 144,000, that sounds like Jehovah's Witness. No. It's 100. Anytime you see numbers, whether it's 144,000 or 144 million, doesn't matter. 144 is 9, which is consciousness. That's what it was representing. Just like the children of the light, the tribe of Judah, numbered 186,400. Ironically, the speed of light. Just a coincidence. When you start understanding what the Bible is and all the rest of it, and you start understanding what the numbers mean and what everything else is, and you lose the whole religiocosis bullshit, you'll be fine. This is about letting go of stuff. It's easing up. Get your fingers out of that Chinese finger trap. Just breathe.
Yeah. That's right. 9. See, number 9 again on the 9th of June.
Yep.
Something huge is happening with this. Now I'm going to ask people if they will donate $1, just $1 a person, to universityofspiritmedicine@gmail.com. That is going to go to fund Kate, Tony, and my mission so that we can take the body of knowledge that we have dedicated our lives to, and all of us probably nearly died many times trying to do that, around the planet at the level it needs to go for the next 12 months. Because if these next 12 months are so key, we have to do that. I've been shown where I have to go, and I'm sure Tony and Kate know what they have to do. So just $1 per person is going to help support this massive shift of consciousness where we actually ground and materialize our divine beingness. So we have to use, unfortunately, we have to use PayPal. We know the PayPal protocol that is designed and what it's designed to do. However, we have to play the game for a little while longer. But if you can send $1 through PayPal to universityofspiritmedicine@gmail.com, that is going to go into a fund that will continue to make this body of knowledge available. And these are the keys. If you have Tony's keys, Kate's keys, my keys, you have the keys to the kingdom, guys. You need to start really getting radically active about using them.
Yeah, baby steps, all we have to do is do. And, I've it's so funny you bring this up. I've talked to so many over the last couple of years. I got to tell you, when everything started going down with me, I never saw so many free men and sovereigns and sovereign citizens, whatever you want to call them. I never seen so many head for the hills in all my life, right? And I spent a lot of time pondering this, and a lot of people that I call friends would give my life for, and always was there for them and everything else, and how quickly they ran out of fear. And I know what it is. It's not that. It's a program. So and as soon as they get that, there's no guilt involved here, guys. This is the whole point of it. The only thing that feels guilt is the ego, and it ain't you. I've said this for a very long time. The ego is a tricky little bastard. It wants to make you think that it's you. The only I think stipulation I would put on that whole idea of $1 each is if you are going to do that, you bless that.
Yes, totally.
With intent. I will not accept the skin of another. I will share because my skin's involved too. Every dollar has 7 billion segments, guys. All right? The entirety of humanity is involved here. This is not just, a handful of people, one bond or not. Doesn't matter. Every dollar or pound, whatever the case may be, right? So let's keep it to dollars. Every dollar is divided up into every individual on this planet as part of them. And when you take a dollar and just piss it away on something, that's what you think of the rest of humanity. And that's how this spell was set up, to make damn sure that we disrespected ourselves and everyone else. And that's why they want to make everyone chase this stuff. That's why I have such a loathing for it. That's why I'm very guilty of, I don't, as far as, gifts or whatever, stuff shows up when it needs to, and if we get desperate, and we've had some desperate times, we'll ask. And like I said, thank you guys. We put the notice up, and we're going to keep saying it. You got me back on the road, and a couple of months to, make sure that my songs and lyric sheets and photographs and a couple of very precious things to me, you covered a couple of months of storage. So that was a great amount of peace, and it allowed me to write things like the long and short of it, and I who shall not be named. That's because of you, because I was given some peace of mind. I don't need a lot to have peace of mind. I had a couple of apples for supper. I'm good. I got a little bit for gas to get me where I need to be, to hook up with a couple of different people, and I'm good. I got a place on the floor. I'm peachy. I'm indoors. That's cool. It's really cool. So you need to know the level of where I'm at with regards to this, and those are the only terms I will accept. Is if there is any gift, it's got to be a pure thing, or don't send it, please. I don't want it. I don't want blood money. I don't want a penny, because I know what it represents.
Yeah.
We changed the intent, and this is why we bless the rest of humanity. If you're going to do it, great, but bless humanity with it. Okay, because every single dollar has 7 billion pieces in it. Little pieces of skin, a cell from everybody in it. And I want to be no part of trading slaves of my brothers and sisters. Not a chance. You can keep it.
That's very moving. It's very moving, and it's very real, and it's very true, and I agree wholeheartedly. And one of the things I have been shown to do is to send out a couple of symbols I've been given, and one of them is a new monetary symbol that reharmonizes money to benefit humanity. So everyone who donates that dollar, and the reason you're sending it to my email address, University of Spirit Medicine, is so that I can send each person who is involved in this process these symbols that will literally change everything you do if they're used correctly. So they will arrive with instructions. Have I been bumped again?
No, I just mute out, so it's nice and quiet for you.
Okay. Oh, thank you, darling. And I have to say something else about that symbols. What was I going to say? It's really important. If there's anyone out there who cannot even scrape together $1, then just send in the email telling us that. No one is excluded here. I've made it as cheap as possible. You can't really get much lower than that. But seriously, if things are so bad for you right now that even $1 is a major stretch, is beyond what you can do, then email us and you will be in for sure. There is no exclusion on that basis.
That's the way it should be. It's like the webinars I do on Thursday nights. I don't see anything from it other than some beautiful people and the fact I get some time to share. And of course, their donations are asked for, but they're not necessary. And you can ask Tony. We've had many chats about this, and the aversion that I have to that, because I never want to be looked at as someone out. And that, people have said it. It's like, oh yeah, we'll tell you what, I'll trade my non-existent bank account for everything you've got in yours, and we'll trade living situations, and we'll see how you feel about it. I'm okay. I can do this because I was obviously built to, and I had a role to play here, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. I'm not kicking and screaming anymore. I was for quite a while, and then, I got a grip. And I found the peace, the 0 point within, and I understand what this paradigm is all about. And it's all about, buttons and getting your buttons pushed. And I got to tell you as well, anytime I feel anything coming at me that is negative at all, I'm bitch slapping it without question, because I won't tolerate. If you look at it like we're all a bunch of kids in kindergarten playing in a sandbox, and somebody, we're all playing well together, and if somebody comes over and starts to yank a toy out of someone else's hands, I'm going to bitch slap it. That's where I'm at right now. We do this together. And I'm tired of the fight. I'm tired of people wanting to beat the shit out of each other, or, let's go and, get our guns, Anger Jones style, right? Yeah, you are the racist ants. You know what, Jonesy? Gotta say it. Shut the fuck up. Shill. Anyway, paid shill, by the way. Paid by the system. It's alright. We're exposing them all now, and they're all coming down. Hey, and people can say they had their usefulness. Yeah, they did. And they also have their uselessness in keeping people angry. Those that woke up from it, now we can turn around and say, all right, shut up now, we get it, and let's get this show on the road. Let's get doing, We got to get doing, and it doesn't take a whole lot. We've talked about baby steps, changing your intention. Box of signature. I don't care if it matters or not. There's that word again, sig, not sure. Not yours. The sigil, not yours, because it was given away. And cursory. This is the thing is we got taught so well, and I'm talking we got taught T-A-U-T, so well that we didn't know how to relax our thread, where everyone was pulled so taut that this fabric that we're weaving, we can't weave it together because you can play notes on most people's strings. They're that tight. So what I've done is just eased off my thread to see where it will mingle in with yours, and let's see what we can weave together in a new fabric. That's what we're here to do. So I've got some pretty cool ideas as far as how beautiful things can be, and I'm sure you do too. So let's get our threads together and weave this beautiful tapestry. Fair?
Totally fair. Totally fair. And it is tapestry, and it's time to pull a lot of the threads together.
Yeah, no more loose ends, guys. Get it? Oh, yeah. There's, and again, it just, it was word after word today as I was driving back. And found myself laughing a lot, going, oh, how'd I miss that? Oh, look at that one. It's so obvious. Like, even the consumer one, that was, like, recent, and I'm thinking, I just, I'd cracked apart so many words, I got bored doing it, but as we move along this game, are you with Babylon? Are you with Sumeria? And that's what they want you to do. When we change our intent, and I'm talking donate or not, I'm just talking real life, regular, every day. When you walk into a place and buy a piece of garbage made in China that's going to be landfill in about a month, that's what you're telling the spiritual universe, how you feel about the other 6.9999999 billion. So be mindful of that. If it's something that you're getting to sustain your own life, different story. Different intent. But everyone's out there, you have to go and buy guns and ammo. I don't see much life sustenance in that. When you're going out and helping people with it, it's a different story. Now we're taking that cursed flesh and turning it into, born again flesh, if you will. And all you got to do is change your intent. Start giving a shit about everybody else. And I know everyone tuned in tonight already does. I'm just trying to take it to a whole new level where we can stand together, and don't ever think that just you, the individual, can't change the world. I thought that once, and I know I have. And it just takes the change of mind to decide that you're not going to be part of the problem anymore, that you're going to be part of the solution. And everyone listening right now, I know, at one point or another in their lives, has changed the entire planet with a thought, because the intent was so strong behind it. The passion was so there. And that could be for good or evil, by the way, so be mindful. That's why I get uptight when people get off on these negative rants. I'm guilty of it too. I've just learned, this is a new unit of now, and boy, it's taken, been through a bit, and I had to come to terms with that. That's nobody else's problem but my own, and that's all I'm trying to do. So be mindful that when you are uttering things, you are actually creating universally. You are butterfly wings, and sometimes the things you do become tsunamis across this universe. So, if there's nothing positive and beneficial and creative to say, best not say anything at all. If you find yourself getting really uptight and what have you, and looking outside of yourself to blame another because somehow they've wronged you, well, you've still got a lot of healing to do within. Because regardless of what you may think, and I was there too, you're half the dance, baby. You can talk about whatever situation you want, but every choice you made in your life from the time you arrived here up until whatever situation you got into, every choice and decision you made got you there. Take a little responsibility for it, will you? Or you'll be cannon fodder and vampire fuel, and you're going to get bitch slapped from me. Because I see a beautiful, beautiful vision. And you want to come over and throw shitballs on my vision? Well, I'm going to come over with a chainsaw and take care of your canvas real quick. That's where I stand. 0 point tolerance. How's that? Rant over.
It's the right place to be, About 8 years ago when I was in the States, I started getting really intolerant, and I prayed about it. I prayed and prayed, please, Jesus, please, God, help me. I'm getting so intolerant. And I got a very clear message back, actually, spontaneously from another psychic who called me and said, we have a message for you. Your intolerance is absolutely right. It's absolutely justified. And you are not going to get less tolerant. You're going to get more. You're not going to get less tolerant. You're going to get more intolerant, more and more intolerant, because there are too many things that are not tolerable in the world that have to be changed.
Agreed. And again, it's about the intent. And for me, when I see people doing things, it's not that it's affecting me. Of course it is. What I'm seeing is what is it doing to all the others that they're throwing shit on the canvas for. That's like I said the other day. I blocked someone on Facebook, not because of something you dish it out to me all day long. No problem. Come on the air. Let's have it out. Let's have some fun. But the minute you say something against anyone else, especially a friend of mine, and you're all friends, by the way, I'll kick your ass out. Because I have no tolerance for that. That's fear porn. That is an energy that needs to be shut down very quickly. Whether I'm right or wrong is irrelevant. I'm just going to follow my heart on it. When you step on anyone that's trying to make a change in this world, then you're stepping on all of humanity. And again, out comes the flamethrower and the chainsaw. And I might even put gas in it this time.
Well, and it doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve the self who's putting that stuff out, because, hello, whatever we put out comes back to us. And it's coming back faster and faster.
Oh, I totally agree. And again, the only service it does is to serve the ego, that tricky little bastard that's constantly making you think it's you, and it's not. It's like, if you get offended, that's ego. That's why you can't offend me. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Because I don't give permission to be offended. And that I guess the TLB, tricky little bastard, is permanently sitting in a corner, sucking its thumb, quivering in fear, because I know what it is and it ain't me. And on occasion, I will use the one part of it that's actually useful here in the 3D realm, and that's to take the creative and bring it into this realm. And that's it. It's other than that, shut up. And it knows better. And I catch myself anytime it tries to rear its head. There's a great scene from Evolver. It's about 10 minutes long. It's the ego scene right at the very end. If you can get through that and identify with it, you'll have the biggest key you've ever had in your life. That was unequivocally, for me, it was an incredible moment. that whole movie, Revolver, again, it's everything out of Hollywood has a message if you're paying attention. Because they got to stay in universal honor. They'll tell you everything. They'll tell you how to solve things. They'll tell you what's coming up. They'll tell you everything. And we've proven that time and time and time again, so I don't even need to get into that. But if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, it'll be very self-evident. And that's when you know you're awake, when you're looking at it not to be entertained, but to get an idea of what's going on in this grand illusion called Gaia, this realm. You'll do a whole lot better. You'll move a whole lot faster. And Swan, you're absolutely correct. We are in high-frequency times, and Tony and I have talked about this, that things that you manifest or put out there will manifest way faster than it has, even a year ago. We are in exponential times right now. This is the 11th hour. A couple of minutes to midnight. So, time to end this. House of Cards comes down. Let's get this job done. Shall we? Anybody?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. 2 seconds to 12, I reckon.
Yeah, that's about right. I was going to say 2 minutes, but I was being way too conservative. We're right there, guys. This, if you can't feel it, something's missing. And I know you guys that are tuned in, you know what we're talking about. And it's nothing you can describe. It's nothing you explain. It's just you have a knowingness, an inherent knowingness within you. You got a gut feeling. Something is about to go click. And we're the ones going to make the click. We didn't come here to lose. Sorry. Besides, every Hollywood movie, the good guy wins in the end anyway. Right? So, take the lesson. It's just a ride. Let's make it worthwhile. Let's stop this garbage that's going on around this planet. And you have the ability to do it. I do. Tony does. Swan does. Tracy, everybody has that ability to do it. You just got to choose to put on the big boy pants or the big girl skirt. Or even both, in my case, whatever. Either side of the closet works for me. I don't care. No more hang-ups. Let's just get the job done.
Totally. And we know time is an illusion, guys. We know this. However, we are dealing with this 3D reality. And we're creating our reality. And I'm not talking law of attraction stuff. And how many of you have tried law of attraction and discovered it doesn't work for a simple reason that it's missing this key that I'm talking about that we're going to shift on the 9th of June? I'm talking about the law of beneficent action, which is a higher law. The law of beneficent action, and when we all come together and behave and act in the way Kate is talking about, then we start to create massive fulcrum shift. So we're creating our reality, so let's create our new reality on the 9th of June. This is the day, guys. I'm just getting it so strongly. Let's make that our D-Day, our day of definitive action. Creating the reality we want to create.
Yeah, and just let people know, apparently there's lots of negative feedback in the chat room on this right now. That's one of the reasons why I don't even bring up the whole subject of money at all. So I'm just letting you know that. So I just yeah.
You're letting me. Okay. Well,
I'm not you and everybody. I'm letting everybody know. So I'm going to put it right out there. I said, keep it. Don't want it. Can't use it.
Well, I'll ask people, what is it bringing up for you? Because whatever it's bringing up for you, I was guided to be here today to do this. I don't mind if you're there or you're not. Well, I do mind. I do care. I would love you to be there because I know it's a powerful shift. But
no, I'm talking about the donation thing. I'm there anyway.
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
So what I want.
I'm there anyway. I here it is in a nutshell for me, Swan. Don't need it. Don't want it. Don't expect it. That's me, and that's where I'm going to stand. And yeah, I know we have tools and everything else, put the blessings and what have you behind it, but I'm going to make it unequivocally clear for everybody. All right? Don't want it, don't need it, don't expect it. End of story. And I'm there for you, Swan. Absolutely, whatever. And whatever universe...
Yeah, no,
needs me to do, I'll do.
I'm not quite clear on what you're saying to do, so I'm a bit confused.
Well, again, it's the minute you bring here's the problem I have with money, because the minute you bring it up, it gets all sorts of crazy reactions from people. It's why I loathe asking, and I gotta be like on my knees desperate, okay, on my knees desperate, and people know, anyone that's listened for any length of time, everything I ever created in my life was stolen. Family, home, countless car, truck, possessions, you name it. Of course, the cops did all the stealing, and what have you. Everything I'd put away, gone. And I figure probably in the range of 1.2 to 1.4 million that I'm in this game. Gone. This feast is paid for already. And if people want to help out, great. If they don't, great. Am I going to stop? Not a chance.
Yeah, same. And same. I've had about the same amount taken. I've just been ripped off to the tune of about 15 grand,
yep.
Which is what I had in the last couple of weeks. And so I'm dealing with that in my way. And what is being brought up for people right now, this is what I'm saying, whatever is being brought up to you is what needs to be cleared, is what needs to be transformed. These reactions are what need to be shifted. And I'm desperate. I'm on my knees here, guys, saying, what do we need to do to make this shift? And this is what I can offer right now. And I have to take this around the world, and this has to be funded. However, it may come from people listening, and it may not. It will come from somewhere, for sure.
Well, let's you know what?
I'm on my knees to people saying, let's make this shift now on the 9th of June, whatever it takes.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where I am. Now, I don't need numbers. I don't need to ask for specifics or whatever. So let me purify this, right? Whatever universe says is going to be, and I'm good with it. And only the intention will be pure. And if something showed up, great. If something doesn't, I don't care. I'm going to keep going. I am exactly doing right now what I'm supposed to be doing in exactly the place where I'm supposed to be. And that's not to make less of anything, but what I want to do right now is I want to completely dispel anything with regards to reaching out. Because here's the thing, guys. Reached out before and you guys came through. Thank you. I'm not going to reach out anymore. I'm withdrawing now. I'm only going to reach out with voice and truth and everything else. And you know where it's coming from. But I'm going to withdraw into the void. And whatever will be, que sera, sera. And I'm good either way. I already made my commitment to the last breath. Hell or high water, baby. I'm in this game because everyone on this planet matters that much to me. Everyone on this planet matters as much as the family that ripped away from me, and especially the ones that I lost over the last few years. That gave me keys, that gave me clues. So I'll tell you what. Do you have? You want to maybe share the concept of the key? Or can you do that right now? Or
I can share some of it. Yeah, it's a very simple mechanism that affects the endocrine system and the mental body that has stopped them working synchronistically, symbiotically together so that they can never basically work in harmony with each other.
Yeah.
And the gift is so huge. I don't know how to convey it. I'm so emotional about it. The gift is so huge. It cannot even be expressed at this point. The symbols that are coming through to sustain this shift once the process has been undergone on the 9th of June is such a huge blessing. It can't be quantified. It's worth more than millions of dollars. It's worth a life shift that is unquantifiable. So guys, feel this, hear this, meditate on it, ask to be shown truth for yourselves, and you will get it. The reaction is exactly what this key is designed to shift so that you can materialize the divine. This disconnect in the DNA between the mental body and the endocrine system has been blocking humans for 26,000 years. It's in everybody's DNA. And when we change it in our DNA, when 144,000 people change it in their DNA, it affects humans exponentially beyond belief on every single level. Nothing can be the same again. And it's such a simple key. And it's a process that I will be guided to take people through that will take probably half an hour to 40 minutes. Just going on a guided meditation journey with the University of Spirit team, which is a divine team of healers working with everyone. And for every one person, there will be 3 or 4 healers doing the energetic mechanics to remove this spell and get the mental body and the endocrine system working together, unified, so that we can materialize the divine. Does that make sense? Is it too Aquarian and heady?
No, it's not too Aquarian. It's just there's no meat in it. What's the key? Just throw it out. Just see. Let's get it on the table. Throw it in with a feast.
What's the key? Well,
Yeah.
the key is it's based around the number 17.
Yeah.
Which is the number of God, Goddess in the Bible. It's a number of God, Goddess in divine union in the Bible. It's been taken out of the Bible. And it relates to the process of how God gave man, woman, thought. And how our thought has been interfered with, our divine thought, and blocked from being able to be acted upon in the world.
Well, yeah, 17 is the number 8, and of course, if you take the number 8, which is a symbol of infinity, if you will, if you lay it on its side, all I see with it is a trapped DNA particle. Cut the top and bottom off, or each end of the 8, and you've got yourself a strand of DNA there. That's how I look at it. And of course, there's your X, your chi.
Yeah.
Right. So, 17 makes total sense. Why it would be a key. Right.
And then there are various characters and glyphs that go around that reprogram us, our endocrine systems and mental bodies to be available to pure thought, divine thought, which gets pretty complex. But that's the nut of it in symbolic terms. But basically, it's not my thing. Look, I'm just the messenger. It's been given to me this morning, and I felt really strongly impelled to be on the show and share it with you guys and talk to you guys about it and get it out there.
Well, that's why you're here.
It will be done. It will be done. I've done processes like this before through the internet and on radio with groups all over the world, and they've had amazing results. When the University of Spirit medicine team shows up, extraordinary things start to happen. So the most disbelievers cannot believe the energy changes that they feel and the shifts they experience.
Oh, I hear you. I'm just double checking here. It looks like my computer's froze a bit. Tony, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you okay.
Okay, that's great. So again, I'm gonna completely dispel any sort of monetary aspect. That's why I'm gonna be the mirror balance on this.
Sure.
Yeah, because with me, I don't need to ask any more, and I won't. If I need it, it'll show, and if I'm meant to be in this game, great. And if I'm not, hey, I came here for a purpose, and if I'm having to step out, then my purpose is fulfilled. So that's why I don't put any consideration on it any longer. And you can ask Tony. I've been kicking and screaming for a very long time with regards to donations to site and all the rest of it. And I've even had people ask me in the last week or so, where can they send anything? And of course, I haven't got back to them. And I've even said I'll put it up on Facebook or whatever. But that's how much consideration I put on it. And that's not to negate what people want to do. Not at all. Not at all. The only thing I want to do is make sure that people understand the intent, whether they're wanting to do anything or not. It doesn't matter. I want to get this intent in first. I don't want to be, tainted or tainting the mix until people get this, because to me, everything regarding that paper bullshit is pure life force. And it has created a slavery out of all Homo novus. No one's tuned in here, by the way. You're not Homo sapiens, that is of the earth, animal, beast. You're Homo novus, of the earth, new. Okay? We've risen above the monster. Look at the words. Monster, my star. And of course, a human being is a monster. Of course we are. But you all thought it was a bad thing. Oh, run away! Monsters. Monsters, Inc. Sync, monster, sync. Get it? Are you listening to the words yet? Are you hearing the words? Are they materializing in your mind? Here's a little drill for everyone, just to show, if you want.
Avast,
of course.
Database has been updated.
Well, thank you, Avast. I appreciate that. Here's a little something everyone can do. I want everyone that's listening right now to close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Now, in your mind, I want you to, I don't want you to vocalize this. I just want you to say this word. I want you to say the word rabbit. Did you hear it? Of course you did. That's the word in the beginning, boys and girls. That is the stuff that universes are made out of. And that's the stuff that goes into the void and gets it pregnant. So you better be mindful of what kind of seeds you're impregnating the void with. The real void, not this illusion we walk around in here. So, again, be mindful. You're gods. And when you understand that in this particular paradigm, we're dealing with, big fish in a very, very, very tiny sea. And the only thing they have, the only tool they have in their arsenal is fear. And that is programmed into the ego, which, by the way, will be the 250 genomes of your DNA strand that built the reptilian brain stem and the adrenal glands, to make damn sure that you were in fear and you felt it. Okay? And the minute you can override that, yeah, you were saying about the law of attraction. Yeah, well, there's many other laws that, some people get lucky because they happen to line up the cosmic laws in an instant and things do materialize. But, the law of attraction is only one of, the 7 main cosmic laws. And what you're talking about tonight, Swan, absolutely. This is a matter of, it's like me, I had to turn my own key within to, to set myself free. And so I understand fully what that is. And it's not an easy step. It's like I was talking to Vicki again today. I still there's a lingering consideration being who I am, And then I just looked at her and I says, well, hell, I got this far, didn't I? You have to understand the incredible amount of fear a being like has to go through in order to go, oh, by the way, I'm actually a girl. To see all the reactions, to see friends scatter and just get totally negated. Yet, nothing changed. My perception is my perception. The truth that I share is what was always there, regardless of you having your eyes opened. And the thing is, the only thing that changed in perception was how you looked at me. Nothing about me changed at all. Nothing. Same consciousness saying the same thing. Doesn't matter what it wears. Doesn't matter at all. Simple truth is, whatever's coming out of this being, regardless of what you see, it's still the same. Still the same intent, still the same consciousness. Walk around with your eyes closed and start judging people. And I said it the other night, I'll say it again. What color is your DNA? So that's pretty, for me, that's pretty clear cut. And that's the only thing they've messed with. So it's time to regain that. And as you were saying, Swan, start to turn those keys a little bit to get us into that headspace.
Yeah, we have to. And I want to say there are millions of people out there who don't have internet, who can't listen to shows like this, who don't have access to the information. And that's what getting these keys and these symbols out is about. That's what I'm going to be doing. I've already got the itinerary planned to take it to third world countries where people can't access this and have been enslaved by the system and are in way more darkness than we are because they don't have technology. They don't have information. They don't have anyone to talk to who has a hotline to the top, like the ones that are coming through right now for people. So it's about all of us supporting the whole world. And I really care about this passionately. There are people out there who need this.
Yep. Not going to get an argument out of me. This is why I do what I do. This is why you do what you do, and Tony and Santo and the rest of us. You know, we got a very particular role to play, obviously. If you'd asked me 5 years ago I'd be doing this as my role, I'd look at you and go, yeah, you're nuts. But I will tell you this. You guys, we're part of the tip of the spear of this. You know, there are others. MJ made that very clear the other night that, you know, he's a watcher. He looks at other groups and all of a sudden the Akashic's getting uploaded. And all we have to do is will that. It's, you know, yeah, even the billions that don't have internet, doesn't matter. They're still getting the message. They're still getting it loud and clear. I know that. I'm watching the Akashic Ripple. I met a lady today. Beautiful, beautiful lady, Reiki master. And, you know, just started chatting, and lo and behold, here was an individual that hadn't done a whole lot of research but knew exactly what I was talking about. And then I actually kept her late going to a friend's house. She was just so into the conversation. And I just told her, you know, Google Kate of Gaia, and you'll you want to get the goods on me, contact and everything else. And so she pulled out her iPad and made a note of it. And, you know, as a result of, I hadn't actually planned on being where the second place I was today, but universe said I was going to be there. Met with Vicky, and of course Vicky knew this individual, and as fate would have it, there's that all things for a reason stuff going on. Bingo. You know, and she was saying her daughter in another province is all into this as well. And when you start looking around, you know, start paying attention to the people around you. You know, whether they have internet or not, I am the internet. I am the Ethernet, baby. I'm the Ether bunny. You know, because I know the power of my words. I know the power of my thoughts. I know the power of my intent. And that's why I walk a very fine line to make sure my intent is kept absolutely pure at all costs. I cannot be bought. That's, by the way, method one. System, they try to buy you. You know, next step, because I couldn't be bought, they go into low-level conflict where they, you know, do things like rip your family apart and steal your house and totally knock out all your support systems and make you, you know, destitute and banished from everything around you. And then you get to watch all your friends run for the hills. And, you know, and then step 3, which we'll never get to because we won't yield the truth, is they off you. Can't do it now. Hold the light, baby. Fist fight, hold the light, or carry out the dead. Well, I know what cross I'm carrying, and I know I'm standing right on top of it now. And that's the Cygnus cross, the divine feminine. We've reclaimed the divine feminine. And all you got to do is get the concept, get it into your heads, right? Electromagnetism. You're walking around, you know, with your magnetics stolen, literally, ethereally at birth. Time to go, oh, no, that was a fraud. I'll take my Regis stir back. Thanks very much. And get it together. You know, put both sides of you together, the electromagnetism. That's how universes are created, boys and girls. You are one. You are an entire universe. Maybe if I'm not sidestepping Tony here, I'll get him to come into the fray here. I know he's busy with the chat room and stuff, but I did want to dispel that with the chat room and everything else. And, you know, guys, think what you want, think what you will. I don't particularly, as far as intent with, you know what my intent with money is. And I'll just spit on the floor to show it. No. Sorry, guys. You know, I mean, there's opt for you too, another carrot, and I can get real hot and heavy on all this stuff, but I'll tell you, anything that involves creating that illusion any more than it's already there. This is about letting go of it and just letting things flow, and things will be as they're meant to be. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but I've moved on. You know, sink or swim. Sink, synchronicity. I'll take the sink any day of the week. The problem with swimming is chances are you're going to end up getting drowned anyway. So stop swimming in their ocean of illusion. Stand above it. You're God, for crying out loud. Wake up. Tony.
Yeah. Yeah, just lots of interesting stuff flying around. Very surprised. Didn't have any warning that anything like this was going to be coming to the surface tonight, apart from it hitting the surface, which is one aspect of things. But yeah, as I say, I mean, you know, things are manifesting in the universe around us purely by having faith that they're going to manifest. It's weird, but it's wonderful the way it's coming together. I mean, I don't know where to start with it really, but yeah, lots going on. Information coming in from lots of different areas. I could explain a lot of this stuff, but I mean, you've got to experience it for yourself, like you've said, Kate, many times. But if you just put faith in the universe and faith in the situation, this thing's going to come out through the other end somehow. You don't know how, but you don't need to know how. All you need to do is do what you're supposed to be doing and have faith that it will.
Yeah, just get on with it.
And I'm still here, a bit like you.
Well, I hear. While I got you on the line and Swan, let me put this out into the universe. Universe will give us exactly what we need. If we're doing the right thing here, guys, universe will provide exactly what we need when we need it. I have no need to ask. The asking has already been done. It will be, or it won't. And I'm okay. Universe has this one. I'm in center stream now. I'm going to row your boat. And that's row your boat, your mind. That's what the vessel is, the mind. Ship, mind, same thing. Gently down the stream. No, I'm out of the rapids now. I'm out of the tough currents, and like I said, things will be as they are, and we'll deal with them in the time that we need them. And let's just put that out there, and universe leads. I don't have faith in the universe. I know universe. The one verse, truth of himself, herself, itself. Bring it together, and you have what you need, everything that you need. We're in a magical place, and we've just had our magic stolen from us. Or we gave it up. Who knows? Does it really matter? We're still dealing with a 5-cent meat stick that, you know, that is a universe unto itself. You know, it's not being derogatory. It's just stating a fact. But you got to get out of the meat stick and start understanding that's only part of you. It's just the vehicle you're walking around in. And you've had many. We're going right back to the DNA here, the pure energy. That's the thought vibration. So it's time for us to understand who we are and stop grasping at straws and panic and all the rest of it. Everything is going to be perfect. I promise. And that took a long time for me to be able to say that. I had to travel through a few different levels of hell to get there. So let that one mull around for a little bit, you know? And I don't need to do physical things to change this world. Just so happens that some of the physical things I did change the world. But I'll tell you right now, the intent and thought was there to begin with. Remember, the physical is only proof of the intent. So change the world. Dare to dream. Dare to be greater than you are. You know, I go back to JC again. For you will do greater things than I. I am going to prove that guy right. And so are you. Watch. You know, the energies are shifting, and they're shifting very quickly. And definitely, let's get the potential there and the gathering of minds. And here's the thing: I think we only need what did I say? 350 people. 200,000 people can be taken care of with one awakened being. All right, so 350 people. Is it? Or it might be 3,500. Who knows? That's all we need, though. Pick up the slack. Be the one that takes care of 200,000 in frequency. You can rise them up or drop them down. That's why I'm adamant about fear porn. Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I was just going to say I had an interesting experience. Well, I've had loads of them. I just wanted to share this with somebody, but, well, say somebody, with you guys. The point being is, many years, no, it wasn't many years, it was probably about 2 years ago, I went on a bit of a mission. I've always been on a sobbing mission. Anyway, point being, I ended up going abroad, and I went abroad to try and build a haven, really. And I learned many, many things while I was on this journey. I went out to build geodesic domes and underground sort of like bunkers where people would be safe, where I understood that there was this calamity coming and it was going to change everything and all this sort of stuff. I was in the grip of the fear bit. Anyway, so I went to the other end of the world to try and pull this together. Anyway, I had some extremely incredible experiences. People wouldn't believe unless they were actually there, including met people. Now, Kate knows what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to. I don't need to elaborate. The point is, I'm telling you point blank. I met people that I was like, "What the fucking hell's going on here?" You know, I'm talking alphabet agencies and various other things. The point is, I was made offers that were beyond incredible. You know, and I was tried to be bought, and I came across the situation whereby I'm being offered stuff that most people would just not believe in their wildest dreams, and I'm like, whoa, you know, shit, where did that come from? I didn't, you know, my instinct was to say no, and I said no. Period, point fucking blank, no. But anyway, the point was, probably about 8 months after this happened, I actually had a meeting with one of these guys in London, and I phoned him. Well, you know, we were in touch and we were talking. He said, "How are you getting on?" and all the rest of it. "Oh, I'm going to be in London, you know, on this and such a date. Do you want to meet up?" Anyway, so I went and met him at, it wasn't the Hilton, but it was very close in London. And basically, he was like, you know, "Don't you realise you're not going to change anything?" Like, the gist of the conversation is, you can't change. Who the hell do you think you are? You can change anything. That was basically the final comment. And I turned around to him and I said, "Fucking watch me." And walked out of that meeting. And that was the last time I spoke to or saw the guy ever since. But since then, I mean, you know, I have made a difference. I have done these videos, I've done these radio shows, I've got to speak to you guys, and I've got to, you know, break apart the Boston crap, and I've got to expose the, you know, the ufology situation and the free energy situation. And yeah, that's the point. Don't, you know, it doesn't matter if anybody else doesn't believe in you or not. It's irrelevant. You believe in you. You need to get off your ass and make a difference. And I'm not talking nastily at anybody. I'm talking like I was talking to me. It's like it's up to me whether I decide to change the world. It's not up to you. It doesn't matter what you think. It's irrelevant. The point is, you know, I'm talking to me again. It's up to me to decide to make a difference and actually make the difference. That's the point. It's nobody else's decision. It doesn't matter a shit what anybody else thinks. They can think whatever they want. It's irrelevant. The point is, I've made the decision, no, I'm not having this. This is not going to happen in my world. This is not going to happen to my people. This is not going to happen to my children. This is not going to happen to in my future existence. It's not happening. Period. End of. And that's the difference. So that's what I call making a difference. I just threw that out there because it's a live experience I've had, and it's real. It happened, and I fucking told him. I said, "Watch me."
And what happened? What happened after they couldn't buy you off? Like, I mean, I've had the carrots placed in front of me. I mean, music. I mean, they went right for the throat with me as far as, you know, music is concerned, and I couldn't be bought there. And what happened after you couldn't be bought, Tony?
Part B. I did exactly what I said I was going to do.
Right, and Part B came into play where You got marginalized. Time jumped.
No, yeah, all of that. But I mean, that's by the by.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to illustrate to people that, if you. And here's the thing: most of mankind can be bought. That's why we're in this mess. Everyone.
That's principally why we're in this key position, because we refuse to be bought.
And that's the thing. You want to go out begging and pleading and all the rest of it. I'm talking system-wise. And you can talk about job. I'm going to get real extreme on this, guys. I'm trying to lay this concept out for you. And it's going to be up to, like Tony said, it's going to be up to you to change the world. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. It's when you decide that everyone else outside of you is as important as you. Not lesser. Not greater.
I come in here and read
Carol,
a poem
please.
at this point?
Sure.
Tony, I love you dearly, and I really resonate with what you just said about, yes, you can make a difference. I've read this poem on the call before. I hope you don't object. It'll take a minute, but it's very, very beautiful, and I read it on all of my calls. And it's called The Power of One, author unknown. The very last line sums up exactly with what Tony has just expressed about it's going to be up to him to do what he needs to do to accomplish what he wants to accomplish in this world. Gets back to the 100th monkey thing. I mean, it all ties in together. Everything you guys have been saying, it all rolls up into one little ball. The power of one. Here it is. One song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand clasp lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer doom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. Our hopes will raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. And here's the line I want all of you to remember, folks. One life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you. And Tony, I dedicate that poem to you tonight, my dear sweet friend. God bless you, and thank you so much.
Oh, Tony, Tony's such a kiss-ass. Go on.
Oh, come on now, Kate.
No, I know. It's all good. No, it's absolutely.
It takes all of us. It takes all of us and all of our assertions about what we have lived. And coming together like this is so very important, even though some of it's pretty hard to take, But when we come together and express our feelings, the feelings are the very important thing in life. You need to really center in on what you are feeling. Does it make you feel good, or does it make you feel bad? And if it makes you feel good, try to go there more often, And Kate, I want you to get the mailing addresses for Swan and Tony and you, and I want you to call me with them. Because I'm not going to use PayPal, but I do want to interact with the three of you, and I will also make it available to my phone family if they'll call me in private. I won't be giving those addresses out on the internet or on the calls or anything, but do get your mailing addresses for me, would you please?
That I can arrange.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to mute out now. And Tony, you keep up being that difference, and Kate and Swan too. All of us make a difference. It's up to us.
Well, here's one for you. Anyone familiar with the footprints in the sand?
One of my very favorites. Yes, indeed.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Very beautiful.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what it really means. Those footprints, when it goes from two to one set of footprints, do you know who the one set of footprints is?
Well, according to the poem, it's Jesus, but those of us that are enlightened, it's us, individually. Mm-hmm.
Dare to be the single set of footprints and dare to carry.
That's how important we are.
Yep. And here it is, guys. You guys are tuned into this. You're a bunch of misfits. You are the standouts in the crowd. You are the ones that dare to be a little bit different, have a different concept, and you dare to wake up and, you know, start speaking truths that people looked at you like you had two heads.
And be the bloody rebel.
Absolutely, you know. And here's the thing: just take up your. We're all misfits, so take it up a notch. Have a bit more fun. You know, dare to be, you know, even more so. And that's not about going out to try to wake people up. You're going to beat yourself, you know, your head against the wall trying to do that. What I'm talking about is that beautiful misfit that you are, that we all are, got noticed. And that light that was shining so bright that is you, a moth came over and was kind of curious about the light. And of course you're on fire, and what happens to moth wings, right? They go on fire. And this is what we do. This is the gathering of angels. We're here now. Let's just get this job done. Quite frankly, I've had enough of this. You know, I have a beautiful family. And the only thing that's ever going to bring that back together is when my daughter looks at me. As I told her at a very young age, she's going to say 4 words to me many times in her life. The only 4 words that I ever want to hear. This is when I know I've done what I needed to do. She's going to come up to me, she's going to look me square in the eyes, this powerful little Leo of mine, and she's going to say, "Dad, you were right." And that's my quest, to make her to be able to say that. So if you wonder what my purpose is, there it is. It started many, many years ago. And my children are as important as yours. Because it doesn't make sense to have children in this world if they're going to grow up hating other children because nobody cared enough to bring them all together. To me, that's just dumb. You know, it doesn't make sense to raise kids to want to go to war with other kids in another country because somehow some, you know, dark entity decided to say, well, you know, you're black, you're white, you're yellow, you're red, you're Muslim, you're, you know, Jewish, you're Christian, whatever, and you all bought into it. I did too. Sorry, I just closed up the cash register on that one. And I mean that in the most extreme way. No. This is our game. We choose to win or we choose to lose. And you guys have heard me often enough. I'm not even sure if I'm getting through tonight, but there is a calm and a peace within me, and I can speak of things now with absolute certainty of knowing where we're going. And it's certainly 180 degrees from where we've been, because I know you listening right now, my family, I'm your family, you're mine, you've had enough. And we just got to take it up a notch. We've got to stop groveling in this system. And it just takes you to change your mind. Taking baby steps. Understand the change of intent. Yes, if you're getting something that's keeping you alive from this festering whore of Babylon, fine. Change your intent. You know? And that's it. And I've said this to many shows. Oh, there's the rabbit. See? Truth happens here. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. He's just bounding across there. He's gorgeous. Anyway, with regards to, you know, elderly, I mean, I had one guy, 74 years old, and he was in knots writing me. How do, you know, I need this, and how do I, you know, he knew immediately what I was talking about. And I said, you know what, my friend? You've been in the battle a long time. This is not your fight. All we need is your agreement. From there, you carry on doing what you do. We'll take the heat. You've already done enough. And I'm good with that. There's the 2 footprints. Move to 1 pair. And that's where we go. If you really want to make the difference, that's what we do. And that's when we're starting to serve ourselves in the service of others. Because if everyone is in service of others, no one has to want for anything. And they've got us convinced that we have to compete, you know, get our 40 hours, get our raises, get our salaries, get slaughtered at the tax end of things and all the rest of it. And they got us ripping this planet apart for trinkets of garbage. You know, watch the YouTube video, Man. Just put it in there. Watch that. It's, I think, 3.5 minutes of pure truth. And that's how I see the Homo sapien. And that's what the this entities, whatever, have wanted all along to get us to destroy our own habitat, to destroy our own mother. And we're doing a damn fine job of it. I think it's time to stop. It's time to stop a long time ago. I get visions of remember the commercial with the Native American, the chief all decked out and a tear in his eye when all the garbage was on the beach and everything else. And that was back in the 70s. Now we've got, the jeers in, I think there's 7 of them around the world, in the Pacific, where there's millions upon millions of tons of plastic. I mean, there are species, albatross especially, that the young are dying because the parents are feeding them full of plastic because it looks like food. These chicks are rotting on the beaches, and when you see the skeletons, all that's inside of them is, bits of plastic.
Exactly.
Had enough yet?
It's not just that. I mean, that's just one aspect of it. We're wiping out species on this planet like there's no tomorrow. This shit's got to stop, big time.
Well, it's all consciousness, guys. And here's the tough part. I feel it. I don't just think it anymore. I feel it to the core of my being. And that's why Gaia gets my last breath. And if this is the Alamo, I'm going down fighting. But I know we've already won. I'm just putting it in perspective for you. That's a dedication I've got. So, universe will be what universe is. I cannot be bought. I cannot be sold. I was sold into slavery once unknowingly. I set myself free of that with intent. And I'm not going back. If it means I starve to death, I'm not going back. That's where I live.
I agree. We have to feel it because it's us. We are it, and it is all us. And we can only be open. We can only be connected if we're open and feeling what's happening to everyone, everything, everywhere. The plastic lake in the ocean, the earth, everything. It is being destroyed so rapidly. It's heartbreaking if we feel it. And it has to stop right now.
Absolutely.
And every time we step up with anything, if anyone ever asks me for help, I give it. I have to. We have to step up and help each other because none of us can do this alone anymore.
Well, no, we do it together. That's kind of the driving point. You're right. And this is where we step shoulder to shoulder. This is not about putting one of us in front of the other saying, well, you take the heat. I've already been there. I've seen enough cowards in my life to choke an entire army. I've seen enough people that were so lustful with their greed, wanting to get their credit cards, they're accepted for values, they're shut this case down, cancel this loan, do this, do that. Had me spinning too, right? And I tell you what I learned from helping people, and I got to tell you, in the first 6 months of getting into this game, probably well in excess of $2.5 million secured for people, or obliterated debts. And I look back now, and all I did was create harm for them. So I paid the price for that.
May I share a story?
Yeah, sure.
A quick one. Many years ago when I was fighting or defending myself in a custody battle over my 7-year-old son who was abducted by his father, and I was in the States and I had to fly to London for a court case, and I had no money. And I arrived in London and my friends all ran, of course. You've experienced that one too. And I had no idea what to do. And I was just praying. And I had £2. That's all I had, and no credit cards, nothing. And I had £2, 2 £1 coins. And I had to walk across London to visit a friend who was actually a psychic, a reader, who was going to try and help me with the reading. And on the way there was a big issue seller, a magazine that helps people in the streets in London. And I gave him one of my pounds, and I said, this is it. I have £2, one for you, one for me. You say a prayer for me, I'll say a prayer for you. We're both in the hands of God. Good luck. And I arrived at a friend's house, and Sinead O'Connor was there. Now, I never asked for money. Very rare. It's happened maybe 5 times in my life. And I really needed money to get to my son's court case because I was going to lose my son. And I didn't ask Sinead, but my friend had told Sinead my situation. And she asked me about it, and I said, yeah, I really actually seriously need a manifestation at this point. She asked me for a session, so I did a healing session on her, and she was totally blown away. Nothing happened. I didn't ask her for money. I walked back to where I was staying, and the next day I got a call, could I come back and do another session with Sinead? And my friend said to me, are you crazy? She's just signed a £12 million record deal. Are you nuts? You didn't ask her for money. And I said, no, I couldn't ask. So I went back the next day and gave her another session. And she's famous for being very, very mean and tight. She apparently never gave money to anyone. But after the session, she came in and said, your situation really spoke to me, and I know that you're really on the planet to help people. I hope this will help you. And she gave me a check for £5,000, which got me through my son's court case. I actually didn't even have a bank account, so I had to go to her accountant's office and pick up the notes in a brown paper bag like a drug dealer. And I carried the money around, and it took me on a mission, not just to save my own son, but to India and Bali, where I changed the lives of a lot of people with that money. And just because I gave £1, and I knew in that moment when I was giving everything I had, that I was in the arms of the divine, and the divine was going to have to take care of me, and it did, and it took care of a lot of other people too.
Absolutely. You just proved my point. That's exactly the point I'm making. We don't need to ask for anything. We gift. We just gift. And we keep gifting. And without any reservation. And that's when things manifest. The gift becomes the gift. And I even have a problem with that, with me, because I don't ever want the universe to think that I'm putting something out there to get something. No. That's an example. I took a drive past to see my puppies, of course, again through the glass. But before I got there, I grabbed a hanging plant, beautiful purples and violets and whites. It was just gorgeous, and I dropped it off for Sid. I don't leave a note or anything. I just left it there, and there's no obligation to it. That's what I told her the other day. There's no obligations, and that, of course, I didn't hear back. And I told her, I said, I don't expect to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you. I don't need to hear from you. Because I don't want anything that I'm doing to be any obligation on anyone. I want my gifting, and I don't have much to gift with, but I want my gifting to be pure. I don't want any tainting of anything whatsoever upon it, ever. Universe will be what universe will be, and I released everyone and everything of all the obligations that might be perceived or conceived or what have you. Here comes the rabbit again. I set everyone free. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Done. Just like that. No one owes me a damn thing. And I don't want anyone to think that any obligation they might have, and I'm talking some people, if you want to get into the grand scheme of it, are into me very heavily. I don't care. I wash my hands of it. I become conscious. And in the process, I become conscious. Kind of rhymes, doesn't it? Isn't that neat? Conscious pilot or Pontius Pilate? I decided to be the flyer of the consciousness instead, right? But that's it. You just proved my point. And again, there was no intention to ask for anything, and you didn't have to, because universe knows what you need, and universe has given me what I need. That was a deal I made. I didn't think it was going to be quite this harsh, but then I had a different reality than 3 years ago as I do now. A much different reality. And I had to be dispossessed of my possessions. I was possessed of my possessions. That's why they call them possessions. Possessions. Possess, there's that tax word again. I'm just tired of being a part of this silliness. So we change it, and this is how we do it. Anyway, we've got just under 8 minutes. I'm going to do the shout out for Critical Mass Radio online, criticalmassradio.co.uk. Paul, Lisa, you have no idea how special you are. You have no idea how much you have changed this world with the gift that you gave us in this platform. Without consideration, we speak freely 7 nights a week. And look what you've done. Look what you've done. Talk about a creator. Paul, Lisa, wow. The gift is returned without obligation. How cool is that? No consideration. If you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, never was. So don't be possessed of it. That's what unconditional is all about. And I'll even say this with regards to Sue. My feeling is she came here to find and learn unconditional love. Well, she found it. And whether it reciprocates ever again in this lifetime is irrelevant. I'm full. Absolutely full. I'd be selfish to want anything else.
You know, you're working through some very heavy duty things to learn, honey. You are such a master, and you are really experiencing all of this shit, if you will. But you know, the more that you learn and the more that you experience this loss and this frugality, if you will, the more intense the depth of the priorities of life come to bear. And when I lost everything, and I've been through a very similar situation, what you're going through, only much different, of course. I can't say that I understand what you're going through because my feet don't fit your shoes.
I was going to say, Carol, for me, it's done. That's the point I'm making.
No, it isn't done because it comes through in your talking, honey. You're still making peace with an awful lot of stuff.
No, I'm not going to accept that. Sorry. I know who I am. I know what I'm feeling.
I know you do.
What you're hearing tonight is me getting through a migraine headache, hon. I can't be forceful. It hurts. I can't be yeah. Here's the trick for me. I had to lose in order to be able to give what I'm giving. And I have nothing but gratitude of an exponentially infinite amount. No, what you're hearing tonight, hon, is peace and gratitude. And if there's anything I want anyone to get, it's already there. The feast, partake. And as I've said in the past, I use this as the analogy, it's already paid for. No tips required either. Just show up. That's all. Show up. I'd hate to see a lot of it go to waste. And I know it won't. I am, you know what, Carol? I am surrounded with people on the air. And all the people that obviously I matter to in the physical realm around me are here as well. And that's okay. I'm good. I know that might sound, trivial or whatever, and I'm just tossing it off there, but that's who I am, hon. And I've said this to people before, if you want to really truly hear me, know me, listen to my tune. That's what I got yanked away from in order to do this.
Well, I think you need to really get back into that music, heavy duty, because I'll tell you what, your music speaks to me in such a strong way that I closed my heart down in 1985. I haven't listened to music. I haven't sung. I used to be a high soprano. I'm barely a bass anymore, And music talks to my heart so deeply that when I was in choir in high school and we'd have choir dates, we competed out in California and we always walked away with the awards. But music touches me so deeply that when we would sing the Lord's Prayer, I couldn't do anything but mouth the words, and I'd stand there in my group, and the tears were just flowing down my face. That's how deeply music touches my heart. And you, my dear, have a tremendous gift with the way that you compose and write everything about it and then sing it. There's something in your voice and there's something in your intonations, the way you present it, that just speaks so loudly to me. And I hope with all my heart that you get back into it full blown, because you have a message to give us and it comes through in your music, honey babe.
Well, I was at the studio today. That's where I was going. Good. Didn't take a guitar or anything. I got to go out and replace the strings on it. I haven't replaced them since February of last year.
Well, you get a hold of me and get me your address, and maybe I can send enough to get your strings, okay?
Oh, it's okay, hon. I appreciate it. We'll talk on the phone. I got to wait for a few days. I'm almost out of minutes, but then once it tops up, I've got all my minutes back. But, yeah, No, I appreciate. We'll talk.
You're such a beautiful soul, and so is Tony and Santos and Swan. I love this team that I've found, and I appreciate the love you've shared with me and made me feel so welcome. It just is so nice. And there's so much that we can do for humanity in our own way, but we don't all have to do it in the same way. We don't have to believe everything each one of us believes, because our truth is only unique to ourselves. And so we can put out what we have found in life, but until somebody's heart is ready to either experience it or to understand it, that's okay. That's Spirit's blessing, and it takes everybody a different time. It's just like when you lose a love. Everybody says, oh, just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and get on with your life. No, you don't. Depends on how long you've been in a relationship or had that being with you, whether it be your dog or your wife or your children or whomever, your mother, your father. The healing time is different for everybody, and nobody should ever say, oh, well, just get over it, because no, the healing is a process. And it's the same with what everybody goes through when they lose their home.
Carol, I don't want to cut you short. We've got a minute left. I'm giving everyone. No, hang on. I'm giving everyone the heads up. If they want to get into the call, they're going to have to call in before we go to record, or you won't get in. So it's 661-467-2401, or refresh the page and Skype. You've got about 40 seconds if you want to hear when we go into the recording. Okay, go ahead, Carol. Continue.
I'm so sorry. That was my Sun and Mercury talking.
All good.
I'll mute out, honey, but I just want everybody to know there's so much love here on this call, and just accept it and make peace with it in your own way. You don't have to follow any protocol. It comes when it's ready.
Oh, absolutely. It goes right back to the whole truth thing. There's no such thing as my truth and your truth. There is only truth. It is up to us whether or not we can resonate with it. If we can get past the believing stage to the knowing. And you will know truth when it hits you between the eyes, because that will be a resonance between you, myself, and everyone else that's already been there. This is why the awakening is the way it is. We are resonating with each other. And that's why it's happening so quickly. That's why all we got to do is get our thoughts in alignment, put the intent where it needs to be, in absolute unconditional. I ask for nothing, and I give all. Right? And that's that no thing. That's to have everything and nothing at the same time. It's a mirror, but it's beautiful. I just chose to turn the mirror around and start flashing it back to everybody. So like I said before, if you got people out protesting, the best protest is one where everyone is silent and all they're doing is carrying, plexi mirrors. Walk up to the Manchurian candidates, I think they call them cops, or with riot gear and whatever, and just let them have a look at themselves in the mirror. You don't have to say a word. You let them become disconcerted with their being a bat just flew by. Very cool. That was the first one this year. Anyway, so this is about turning the mirror on people. There was something came up in my Facebook the other day. It says, "I haven't changed. I just woke up." And I said, well, that's great. Nice to take the responsibility, but how about we throw the accountability back to those that aren't? I haven't changed. You're still asleep. Mirror, mirror. So, that's how I look at everything. I put everything in the mirror and see how it works both ways, and it's always exactly opposite and exactly the same. There was a saying I came up with many years ago. I think I was probably in high school. And I used to say it all the time, drove people nuts, and I don't know why I said it, because it just worked. I said, it's exactly the same, only completely different. And that now, for me, makes complete, utter sense. It seemed to be a bit of an oxymoron, but it wasn't. And in retrospect, everything that you have done in your life, as everything I've done in my life, absolutely mattered to where you are right now. Everything. Not just this, I did